The Future of Therapy, Component 6, Support Systems. In this component, there are two large aspects. Within this, there is a secondary relationship to therapy. This can be used for the client or the therapist themselves. The secondary relationship actually speaks on using the e-mental health as a hybrid or a second step to support real-time therapy. So the secondary relationship to therapy is kind of encouraging from the research to use the medium of electronic mental health as a not as a substitute, but as a natural evolution to support the group. And one of the best support and best methods are what they found out to be asynchronous communication or replying back and forth with no real time connection, using discussion and message boards to have people post questions, frequently asked answers, of how to cure habits, break habits from other members. There's an amount of connection between the learner and the teacher to learner, and then there's several forms of connection basically within the community and without the community. So using this asynchronous communication allows this to act as a really strong support system. So for instance, when I leave a message on the board that I am suffering from chronic alcohol illness, and I ask questions to the community of why and how I can improve upon this, other people, other professionals, other members will be able to respond back to this, and I'll be able to draw a community of support. Now, this support system should not, at least from the research currently available, should not replace full therapy. Although clients are starting to feel that self um, attaining the information, self obtaining the information allows them to understand a little bit more about themselves. It should never be used to fully replace therapy. So the support system itself, asynchronous communication, has been known to help in the future of therapy, and it's going to play a very large role. Moving to voicemails, it's the same with discussion boards and message boards, having that integration of reply to reply. So if someone leaves a voicemail, I leave them a voicemail, or we post sound bites on the internet for people to listen to, or conversations or interviews. That is also another form of asynchronous communication that the user can access and learn from in their own time. You can be used in the same process for emails and text messages to reach and understand different parts of health from a community. The Future of Therapy, Component 7, Delivery System Designs. Now, I've talked about the controversy that has come within the industry of the future of therapy and it moving to e-mental health. And the largest concern and hindrance and problem in the community is this facet right here, which is delivery system designs. There Because of the privacy and a lot of the different issues that are spoken about via therapy, communicating via electronic medium may not always be safe. And that's why people and both clients and professionals are worried about kind of moving into this era. So, some of the aspects of a delivery system to actually use this, move the future of therapy into this realm would be we need a coded video conferencing that has these four components. It is going to have to be client secure. So whenever anyone, whether it be the therapist or the client, enters the video conferencing conversation, it needs to be secure so that no one can copy their information or download or record the conversation and put the client at risk or jeopardize their privacy or safety. That leads me into content privacy, making sure that our content is kept secret and under control. If it is recorded by either the client or the therapist, it needs to be known beforehand so that um, the permission can be given. But ultimately, if neither want to record it, the content privacy as a whole should not be able to be stored on any mother database for a company, or be able to be tapped by maybe a government agency, or any type of group. So keeping content privacy is very important. Moving on to the next, we need to have the client security and content privacy in a cost effective manner. So, coded video conferencing, there aren't many softwares and programs accessible now that actually are able to integrate these coded video conferencing, client security, content privacy for a decent, effective, and cheap price. Also, that leads me into accessibility. With the price not being available or at a consumer cost effective rate, the accessibility has been put out of hand of most people who would actually like to use the service or use this medium to progress mental health. The future of therapy, component 8, delivery system technology. We talked about the design in the previous slide, but now we actually want to talk about the system itself. Now, the program that's available now that has all of the components that were previously spoken about is Skype. Skype is a coded, private, cost effective program that is available to any user free of charge. Through the research, it has been discovered that the intricacy of Skype is connected on a coded private server that is constantly changing. And this has been proven to be very private, very coded, and very hard to overlisten or record, because during one call, multiple signals and multiple transfers will happen to actually distort the program itself. So during one conversation between a therapist and a client, Skype will constantly shift radio frequencies and electronic frequencies to make sure that call remains private. This is not done at any cost, additional cost quality, or any type of extra expense to the user. For the future of therapy, Skype is going to play a big role. It has a lot of the requirements to actually move this field into the direction for a cost effective price. The last part to this is the cost quality. So, right now, although Skype is available and is free to anyone who wants to use the service for video conferencing or just audio conferencing, and it has that private coded, cost effective intricacy there, the cost to quality isn't great. It's not, the quality of the calls aren't perfect, and you could actually find better call quality on other streaming servers or video conferencing software. But those softwares are going to be not coded, not private, and some of them may even cost a small amount. But Skype, right now, for the cost to quality, is blowing its competitors out of the water for the future of therapy. And this Skype will be innovating the field for years to come.